Hey yo, Palkit. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Merry Christmas. I hope everything's coming through loud and clear. I hope you're well. Keeping up on the releases, making us all look bad with the regular releases. It's good to see it, buddy. It's good to see it. Thanks, man. Alex, good to see you, man. Again, another person making us all look bad, putting out the regular releases. Alex, you've been killing it, buddy. Is this gonna be too hot? We got the hot lemon here. Still getting over COVID. Too hot. Definitely, definitely burning my tongue there. Mujo, good to see you. Music Freddy, MXXL. How should we say your name, MXXL? Is that fine or no? Vaichi, good to see you. I got a little gift from Distrokid here. It literally just turned up at the door. So so I've sliced the bottom of it, but I haven't opened it yet. But we're just doing a hangout. I'm gonna hang out for. I love this light. It always makes my head look so shiny. Literally got out the shower. I'm not a sweaty Betty, I promise. Dark One, how you doing, brother? I need to send you a little message in Discord in the next couple of days, so look out for that, man. I want to check in with you. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're well. But yeah, it's just a little hangout for the next hour. See what you guys have been up to. If you got any questions, get them in. I'll show you some cool stuff in Ableton. I just had a really nice hour with a guy called Ed who's been learning some stuff about Future Garage. So if you want to dive into that, that's super cool as well. But yeah, if there's anything that you're like burning to ask, or you're just generally here for the vibes, that's all cool. Let's see what's in this. This is such a nice box. See, you guys know I'm still new to all of this this YouTuber stuff, so this feels super exciting to do this kind of thing. I got this lovely got a lovely COVID cough. I got this from God himself, and then I got this from Distrokid. Happy holidays and a happy new year from your friends at Distrokid. How very nice. What have we got in here? Am I going to make just the worst mess? Come on, Distro. Don't do me like that. I am going to make the worst mess. Oh, look at him. Oh, look at him. MXXL. Palkid. Actually, it's the first letter of my name and my liking for XXL shirts. I feel you. That guy's cute. He's going to go in the back. I'm feeling around. I feel something else. What is this? Oh, this is kind of exciting. I'm going to have to make a mess. This is going to have to go everywhere. I bet that sounds good in the microphone. Just paper noise. Paper rustling intensifies. What have we got? Oh, wow. Music production. Dude, I know who I'm going to give this to straight away. I hope they're not watching the stream. Repurposing Christmas gifts straight out the box. Distrokid music production ABCs. This is actually sick. Illustrated by R.D. Aquino. A. You've got this one already, guys. A is for audio. Let's play. There's this paper everywhere. Gang, chat. Let's play. Can you guess what the next letter is? This is music production ABCs from Distrokid. Where can I put this little guy? A is for audio. B is for... You're never going to get it. Never going to get this. The ASMR stream. I'm done with the paper. MXXL says beats, it ain't beats. Palkid says bass, it ain't bass. There's no way. If you were a kid and you were like, let's learn the ABCs of audio production or music production, we're starting off easy. A is for audio. I got that. I like where MXXL's head is at. Audio, everything we hear with our ears. B, start them off young. Bit depth. We're just like straight off the deep end. B is for bit depth. Computers use bits to record music. The more bits, the more natural it sounds. C is for compression, D is for DAW, equalizer, fader. G is for gain. I would never guess H. H is for Hertz. C is for COVID, Uncle John. Guys, that is actually awesome. I know exactly who I'm going to give this to. Maybe I shouldn't put it in frame just in case they come into the stream, but that's going to be cool. Uncle John, how am I still COVID? I'm still testing positive. I got my little testers here. I'm still testing positive, but I feel great. My abs, oh my goodness, buddy, my abs are killing me. I've just been coughing so much, non-stop, that I've just been doing ab crunches every single day. Oh, every time I cough, it's like, oh. But I'm good. There's no complaints. At least I get to like work from home, right? I haven't got to have time off. I still make the videos, all that kind of thing. A white hoodie is bold today. I've just caught myself in the monitor there. I never wear this hoodie, but this is pretty bold. I hope everybody's doing good. I want to show you guys something I thought was kind of cool. But feel free to get like music production questions in. We can do a bit of feedback. I might playlist some people for the for our Spotify playlist. We'll dive into that if you guys want to. COVID is getting me in shape, buddy. Yeah, if you want to listen to some tunes, it's all good. Let's dive into live real quick. Let's do a little screen share. This is a disaster. You're telling me, man. No, man, it's all good, John. It's all good. So hopefully you guys can hear this. So I was just doing a session. This respace sounds a bit wild because we were making a respace in the session. I've got a video on this project. I was sitting down with Ed, and Ed was like, he was just asking about basses in Future Garage and UKG in general. And you know, we've got like the kind of wub, like donk bass, organ bass, bulb bass, whatever you want to call it. And then we also have a respace. So we kind of made this from scratch, but we've really ramped up the saturator here for a reason I'll tell you in a second. So this is pretty insane bass because I wanted to do something with it. But generally we'll have that drive a little bit lower. So before it was a little bit brighter, right? And now it's like sort of down at 1 dB-ish. And all of this is, if you haven't seen the video, if that's not your kind of thing, we're just using a square wave, saw D wave down here on both tracks. And then this second one, we're just editing a little bit. We're adding the fine tune. So it kind of gives that wham, wham, wham. And we're separating. It's a great way to look at it. If we get the EQ, it'd be more helpful for everybody. And right now, so if you haven't got headphones in, it might be a little bit tough to hear. So we're going to get the EQ so you can hear what we're actually doing. What am I doing? Let's get that EQ8 right here and throw it on the end. So if you look at this level, you can kind of see those harmonics, right? They bounce a little bit, but they don't move too much. And you can see that fundamental frequency. When we add the second oscillator and we increase the fine tune, you'll start to see them wiggle a little bit more. See how they become a little bit more unstable? They start moving a little bit. So this is going to be great to get that kind of detuned sound. It's going to make your sound a little bit wider, as is the chorus. But anyway, moving on, we add a saturator, auto pan. That kind of gives us our respace sound. We're obviously linking it to the kick drum via the sidechain compressor. And I would normally have R bass, but I haven't renewed my Wave subscription. So, you know, we're working without that. So it's a little bit quieter. R bass is just going to give it that harmonic saturation. We could do it manually. So what I did is, obviously at the beginning of this session, the saturator was way up. It was at like 6. So I wanted to turn it up just so I could duplicate it. And then I'm going to turn it back down on this original layer. Because Ed asked a great question. He was like, okay, so once you've got your bass, how do you... Power Kid. Meanwhile, I've got one bass, sine wave, saturator, compress, done. Lo-fi. Easy peasy. So once you've got like your bass line, how do you create like nuance. And I think this is something that I can bring to the table for the guys that make lo-fi, for y'all that make any other genre really. Remember, you don't have to apply this just to the bass. You could apply this to any instrument, any effect. So let's say that this is my arrangement. I've only got 14 seconds of music. I need to create, you know, another loop. So I've looped it up and I've just copied and pasted it here. What I'm doing in this next line is freezing it and flattening it. So now I have a duplicate of this track. I'm going to delete it here. I'm going to delete it here. And you can see on this particular stem, all I've done is chosen a little bit to just break out. We're basically going to make like a fill with the bass line or something interesting with the bass line here. So right now, if we, let's not play that one. Right now we would just have this. Whoa, there's a fair bit going on. Doesn't sound bad, but we're not going to use that. Down here I had a C#1 up here. I'm just moving it. I was going to say a semitone. 12 semitones, an octave lower, so it can fulfill this place. So actually I don't want that there. I want that higher because I bounced it wrongly. So let's actually bring this back. We'll move this here. We'll do the same thing. So that should sound a little bit better. Okay, cool. So we're going to use this. From here, what you can do is add something like OTT. Shock horror, huh? We'll add OTT. That'll give it a little bit more of a gravelly, bright noise. And we don't want that automation there. We're going to pull that out. Maybe move that over. We might have a little dip down. That's about it. And we'll turn it up as well. Let's turn it up a bit. Cool. So from here, we can create a new type of sound. Maybe get the auto pan. We want it to make, you know, sound kind of unstable. So we're going to throw the auto pan on here. We're going to turn that amount up so we can see it, and then increase the phase. So increasing the phase, we're going to stop it from going from left to right and make it go in and out with the volume. So I'm going to increase the automation like this, maybe to the halfway point. I'm going to try it for here for now. And then the rate, let's just find a nice place for it to flutter at. I kind of like the 16-ish mark. So I'm going to automate this down like that. Which would draw two curves. Cool. And from there, we can add something like a vocoder. Ooh. Vocode. Vocoder is going to add some noise. So I like to set this to 40 bands because I'm a rapper. 40 bands is going to be way more of the EQ spectrum. Less bands, you're kind of like sectioning off the EQ spectrum. So we get like more of a dubstep sound here. We're not getting a lot of the bass, so we can control that with the dry wet. So that's a cool way to get some difference. Depth is going to be brighter or darker. So to the right, it's going to become darker. To the left, it's going to become brighter. So I'm actually going to draw this up. This is our dry wet. Draw that up a little bit. Cool. We might draw that up just a tiny bit here. Nice little curve. And then from there, what can we do? Well, we can double click on this instrument. We can take it away from beats because right now it's chopping up all these transients, and set it to complex. And from complex, we can go to envelope, clip, and transposition. And some people will just do this on like a semitone, kind of like 50 cents or something across the entire clip. So it kind of sounds like it gets detuned, which is really cool. It gives that like kind of the plane is falling out the sky kind of sound. What I'm going to do is be a bit more drastic and take this down maybe like an octave and have a nice curve at the end. So you can kind of get a tape stop effect, or it can kind of sound like it's pitching down and meeting our other clip that's here. Don't forget we pitched this one down from up at C#1 down to C#0. Now we have this. So this is really cool because now we can do something with our arrangement, because right now it's like works, but there's like too much going on. Austin Lee, good to see you. Merry Christmas, buddy. There's a little bit too much going on. So I would probably choose to do something with the arrangement, maybe take it out here, take out all the drums, sorry, and then bring in everything from the snare. It adds so much brightness to that. So now if we listen to the track, fair enough, it might be a little bit monotonous, but we haven't really done anything. We copied the whole arrangement, selected it all, Command D, and just popped it here. And then the only thing that we've done after that, let me check my little bell icon that I got there. KKQ, thank you so much for the subscription. The only thing that we've done is add this little freeze and flatten, and then added some effects to it. OTT, auto pan, vocoder. Maybe we should have added a limiter there as well, but it doesn't matter too much. And this is what we get. Fair enough, that bass is a little bit loud too. So that's a really fun effect that we can just kind of throw in there to generate some new sounds and to switch up arrangement. And I use that all the time within the Hushchild stuff and in lo-fi tracks that I do. It doesn't always have to be, you know, like a key, not that we necessarily have a key change, but, you know, changing the melody up, adding a new instrument. It can become really linear and your audience is going to go, oh, okay, and in 8 bars, they'll change this instrument to this, or they'll take this instrument, or it will be low pass. This is a great way to just have that, what I call, I've spoken about this before, and feel free to get your questions in. I've got something there from MXXL that I'll read in just a second. I call this like the Phil Collins in the air tonight moment, and I've thought about this since I was a kid. My music teacher told it to me. Phil Collins in the air tonight, like we all know that song, and we all think ba 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 ba. Such a great moment in a song, and it's kind of why you listen to that song. Now that song is littered with actually in the air moments. You know, there's that reverb phase thing. And I remember, like that's the only time that happens. There's the drum fill. There's loads of these little like quirks through the track, but the drum fill is the main thing. And when I listen to that song, I think, here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Oh, at the end of this 4-bar, here it comes. Now, the first time I ever heard it, it took me by surprise. I didn't know it was there. But every time I listen to it, I think it comes in so much sooner. And the payoff is so great. It comes in somewhere like 2 minutes or something like that. And I remember my music teacher at school telling me about creating those moments in your songs. They don't need to be littered throughout the track. You can just do something nice once. And you could do a few nice things throughout the track that a certain type of person might pick up. So this might be nice for everybody, but you might have a couple of little quirks in there that are just for the producers. Some couple of little ear candy moments there for the headphone listeners, like those kind of things. So I think this is a great way to switch up the arrangement without adding loads of like melodic changes or things that the audience can easily guess, get bored of, or can just cause you stress. This is quite a fun, relaxed task to do. And I'll actually do this in my arrangements when I'm not feeling too inspired, not feeling too creative. Some days you can have these moments where, for whatever reason, you know, you want to be productive and you want to sit down, you want to create a song, but there's no juices there. This is a task that you can do when there are no juices left, and you can just throw some effects in, automate some curves. It's quite productive in the fact that you're making your song better, but you don't have to use all of that mental energy. I do the same with like top drums. I'll just make a bunch of top drum rhythms or a bunch of chord progressions or something like that you can just do a bunch. You can have the NBA or whatever on in the background and just kind of jam it out, save them to a folder. And then on a day where you are feeling productive, but you don't want to spend the time making a top drum rhythm, you can go, what's in that folder again? So it's food for thought. This is quite a fun thing to do. MXL says, quick and forgive for the length. I was with some producer friends and was told that I'm not so much a producer as I am a beat maker. So what's the difference in your opinion? This is great. Damian Taylor, my good friend, how you doing, buddy? If you're not already subscribed, please do head over to Damian's channel and give him a subscription. The guy is worth his weight in gold for production knowledge and tips. He's truly the GOAT. Damian, if you want to throw your channel in the chat, please do. Hope you're doing good, man. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. I'll drop you a message over the weekend. But back to Double MXL's question. It's a fantastic question. I think I've got a few friends that would don themselves the same thing, beat makers or loop makers. I think when your friends call you that, or somebody maybe refers to you as that, you're thinking about, or they're thinking about, this is such a great track in terms of its idea. From start to finish, the beat is fantastic. So it might be from 1 bar to 8 bars. The beat is fantastic. Maybe you make longer beats, and it's great. And I can hear an artist on that. I think what really makes you a producer, and this term is going to change over time as well. So take this with a pinch of salt, because a producer back in the day, think of Rick Rubin. Producer back in the day would have been with the band and said, no, you can do that take again. Let's try it like this. Have you ever thought of bringing the tambourine in earlier? The producer term changes over time. If we go back even further than that, go back to like the 1940s, 1950s, that's the person that's like kind of getting everybody together and putting money into the project, almost like a movie producer. So that producer term has changed. I think nowadays when people think of a music producer, think of someone that can make the beat, perhaps, that can arrange the beat so they can take it from its starting position to its finalized finished form, can also have an idea of mixing the beat and perhaps mastering the beat. So if you've got some producer friends that say you're a fantastic beat maker, then I think, and you say like not a producer, or they say like you're not quite at producer level yet, then you want to take a look at the bigger picture and take that song into its final form. Everything's panned, everything's leveled, everything's EQ'd. Everything that needs to be audible is audible. You've taken out all the mud. You've really thought about everything, especially if there's a vocalist there. What really takes you from a beat maker to a producer is once you get those vocals on the top of the track, they're not just clashing for that limelight position. You've really scooped out the things that need to be scooped out. The track is dynamically loud. You can hear the guitars and the melodies and the counter melodies and the chords and the drums and the percussion. You can hear all of those things, and you can also hear the vocal. You don't have to strain your ear to hear all the things. It's definitely a tightrope. And speaking of somebody that's fantastic as that is Damien Taylor. In the comment section, if you're not aware, Damien is a 10 times nominated Grammy producer and has worked with so many amazing people. He's logged in on his public account now, so do give him a subscribe if you haven't already. And he wrote a great point here. Says a producer assumes responsibility for delivering a final product. A beat maker makes the beat but doesn't necessarily deliver the finished record. But producer means a lot of different things. A record producer also handles how the entire project integrates with the entire team, dealing with management, label, finding the best balance of what they need while enhancing. So that's going back to that Rick Rubin thing of like, what's a good example of that? Maybe Jay-Z would be a good example. Like Jay-Z's delivering a lot, maybe not Jay-Z. He's like fantastic, not writing anything down and going into the booth, but go with me on this one. But maybe he's in recording with Jay-Z, and the delivery on this particular beat is hard. But let's just get like Public Enemy in and see how they would deliver it, or help this person finalize the pictures. Like really looking at the biggest image. Works fantastically for concept albums as well, having a producer that follows through with the entire vision of the product. MXXL. Okay, I feel that I tend to do that now due to my want to be a one-stop shop, and I'm really finicky about my music sounds. We're all perfectionists, buddy, and I think like it's probably why a lot of us move out of the beat making space and into the production space. I'm still on that journey. We are all still on that journey because you can't know everything, right, about production. I think a great person to watch currently is Kenny Beats. Whether you like his beats or not, that's somebody that is so honest and open about being a great beat maker, but whom sends their tracks off to engineers and, you know, will use CLA plugins on a vocal just to get it to its like place that it needs to be loud, but will then send it on to someone like Mike that will take it to its final form and master it. But you're seeing Kenny go into a space where he was kind of the EDM guy, obviously, then made amazing trap beats and hip hop beats. And now you're seeing him do sessions for, it wasn't Slaves, was it? But it was a British band. I'm forgetting the name of it, but you're seeing him do sessions with Mac DeMarco and big British bands and singer-songwriters. And I think you're starting to see this beat maker come into the production world and fulfill more of a all-encompassing role. And it's like watching somebody grow up, and it's really, really fascinating. So I think he'll be somebody to look out for as well. Damien says we'll also be coming up with a step-by-step plan to actually manifest a final result for our artists. Who do we bring in? What studios do we go to? Being clear about what you need to achieve at each stage of a process is really important. My favorite producers are those people that are so honest with your track. They're not being mean if they say, this isn't working, we can pass this again, or let's shoot in this direction. But they're just trying to make sure that all of the I's are dotted, all of the T's are crossed, so that we can get the absolute best picture and vision for that particular artist. So like being completely selfless and just the hardest working member of the team, in my opinion. But we will make the ship float. Speaking of choosing certain studios, I saw that the Maida Vale building is closing down. Man, I remember doing a couple sessions at Maida Vale, and I think they're switching their. Let me double check. I think they're switching their studio HQ to a different place, but the OG Maida Vale building is being knocked down, which is kind of sad. I thought I read that anyway. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm lying. Am I talking out my ass? I feel like I read this. Why is nothing coming up? Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it was a different studio. Maybe it was like... Oh, let's type in studio. Maybe that's why. Yeah, closing its historic doors. 1909. Crazy. But yeah, finally, I'm sure I read this on Instagram the other day, finally being knocked down. Crazy. And just switching to a new location. But that's a crazy... I prefer it over Abbey Road. I said it. I did some sessions there in 2016, 2014, 2016, something like that. And it felt like Maida Vale still had the vibe of like a rock and roll legendary studio. Whereas Abbey Road later, if you've been to Abbey Road recently, it became Maida Vale has been listed, so unlikely it's been knocked down. I think I definitely misread this. Damien, you'll probably side with me on this one, buddy. Like, there's something very clinical about Abbey Road now. It's like almost quite sad when you go there. They meet you with a clipboard and they're like, "Who are you here to see?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm working with XYZ." And they'll be like, "All right, right this way." And they'll take you to that door. Even if you go to the toilet, it's like babysat through the place. It's a ghost of what it used to be. Whereas Maida Vale always felt like, man, this is it. This is the shit. E-Man, G, how you doing? Long time no see. Just a question like, what would you say is a gap in the market of music production and some ideas on it? That's a big old question for me on a Friday afternoon before Christmas, E-Man G. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, man. I hope you're keeping well. Always a busy chat. What are some gaps in a music production market and some ideas on it? I think you got to expand that question. Like, are you asking about... are you asking like whether there are some genres that could be expanded, or just music production techniques and tips? I think the biggest the biggest thing that we're looking at right now is obviously the AI stuff. The pendulum is swinging. I think I had this conversation with Damien the other day. It was either Damien or my boy from Distrokid, but with everything that comes in, there's this pendulum that like everybody gets so excited about it, so it takes over. You talk about NFTs, you can talk about AI, you can talk about even like the AI pictures that people were doing on Instagram just recently. That came and then that died real quick. Spotify rap, people get gassed about it and then it dies real quick. There's a pendulum. And AI right now, that pendulum is swinging full force. So there's a lot of shit, and you've got to kind of pick through that shit to figure out what's going. And then the pendulum swings back, and people get bored of it, and then it kind of rights itself. And there'll be some tools, Captain Chords, would be one of them. What are the other kind of like Lander? People have been using Lander. I feel like me and Damien would argue against using Lander, which is why I didn't include it on my list, because nothing can beat the human ear and interpreting that music. But anyway, like Lander's kind of here to stay. It's been around for a hot minute. Those things. So I think AI is a hole that we can delve into. And I think like Dolby Atmos sound as well in terms of a production technique. If I was learning anything right now, it would probably be learning how to mix and master for that kind of binaural. I shouldn't have said Dolby Atmos. We've had that for a second, but like that binaural sound. So to play a game or to listen to a piece of music with a VR headset on and be able to turn and listen to different instruments. I had a little brief project with some of you know him, Enzi, and when I was playing for Ruti, she'd just won The Voice. We did some sessions and we were messing about with like recording a live session with this binaural moving sound. If you moved your head closer to the drum kit, the drums would be louder. If you went like this and you kind of looked around, you could hear the bass. But it's a nightmare. And I think that's something that people are going to get more involved in the more that like VR and things come into the norm and they become more affordable and people have actual reasons to use it. The art world is really enjoying VR. A couple buddies of mine like kind of do designs, logo designs and stuff for like Disney, Tesla and so on. And they'll jump into VR and sculpt these pieces, these assets, and look at them in the 3D space. And it's been quite helpful. We don't have that in music yet. But I think once it becomes the norm and people have these, they have more reason to use VR and enjoy it. It's not just a novelty. Music's going to go that way as well. So I think that would be a thing. In terms of genre-wise, though, I don't know, it's ever changing. My guess is that the genres for next year's that are going to be the next year that are going to be really popular is probably going to be this sped up chipmunk thing again. We did have like a resurgence of that in the late 90s with like if you ever listen to I forget what that tune is. Spaceman, I wanna know, do, 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 do. You know, we had that like with Prodigy. I take a brain to another dimension, all that kind of thing. What was that Spaceman song? Babylon Zoo. Like this was super popular. Late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, they sampled Babylon Zoo, right? Whoever did the new thing. But that was like a sick sample. And then you heard that into the garage era with like what would it be? What would it be? T2, Heartbroken, like all of those garage beats had that kind of sped up thing. And I think some of the meetings that I've had where some artists want chopped and screwed versions of their songs, lo-fi versions of the songs, and sped up versions of their songs, because it's a very easy way to generate a viral song. Saw something really interesting with Oliver Tree. Did you guys see this? This was so cool. Cool in the sense of business, not cool for anybody else. But Oliver Tree had this song. Let's see if we can find it. Is it Battleship? It might be the one underneath. It ain't that. It might be this one. A month ago. Man, he's putting out loads of tunes. Goodness me. 23 hours ago? Right. So this song, do you guys know the story about this? I think this is great. So some kid, somebody put out a sped up version of an Oliver Tree song that had a backing vocal in it, and then put like a house beat over the top of it. And obviously Oliver Tree's label and people around him himself maybe, were like, oh, this is generating loads of clicks. They don't own our vocals. We can recreate the house beat, make it a little bit, we get Robin Schultz on it, make it a little bit different, but it's essentially the same thing, and it's doing like 9 milli on viral on TikTok. That can be something that they can really easily monetize, and they have the resources and the time to just be able to knock it up in a couple days, ship it out. Easy virality. So they recreated this. And it was like a minor key, like backing vocal or hook vocal, whatever. And now it's like this major key thing. Saw it a little while ago with I think it was last year with a house song. With who did like a Nelly Furtado. Took a song that was a Nelly Furtado like B-side, made it into a house like garage song. Instantly #1. I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. It's very easy to do. And the kids are like loving this 90s, early 2000s resurgence, which is great for me because it's finally a time that I lived. So I'm like, oh, I remember this song. Maybe people don't know that song. But in terms of like originality, when the pendulum hasn't swung back to it being weird, we need it to swing back to it being like a weird time where there's loads of original stuff coming out. And right now we're in that weird resurgence phase where there's like a little bit of everything feels like a remix, But there would be my hot takes. I don't know if I answered your question, E-Man, but technique wise, AI, or production wise, AI, and all of that stuff. And I think genre wise, we're gonna hear a lot of sped up shit. It's gonna be like a resurgence of like happy hardcore and speed garage and all that kind of thing. We did the pop punk thing for a hot second. People like Willow Smith and stuff jumping on that. And I think it died real quickly with people like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff jumping on that. But I think it will be interesting as Paramore bring out their new album, because they brought out that single and people were like, I'm not sure about this. And then very quickly people were like, yo, that new Paramore sounds sick. And they're a band that has a lot of influence for other bands. They're a band that can reinvent their sound quite often because she changes up the band members. So I think if they're doing an indie thing for the new album, you only need another band like 1975 or something to do an indie thing, and then there's going to be a lot more indie sounds. Especially, we've spoken about Kenny Beats. If he's moving into a producer role where he's taking on a lot more bands, imagine Kenny Beats' influence of his live streams. If he steps away from the trap thing and the hip hop thing and does more band orientated projects, you're going to have so many kids that are going to want to create those band orientated projects. So that's going to influence stuff in the door. I was making a Midwest emo song. I might pull that up in the DAW yesterday just for fun, just to figure out, because I've seen so much stuff on TikTok and Instagram of people taking a sample and putting this Midwest emo like sound behind it. I was like, that's really fun. It's like Explosions in the Sky meets American football. So it just depends on what the January to March has for bands and artists, and then that will kind of persuade persuade all the new producers. That was a long old answer. This is not sexy at all, but what record companies want is a reliable way to get results depending on which side of production. And also checking out like where they're putting their money as well. You can find all of this stuff like quite easily. Do a little bit of research, but like see what they're in. Are they employing a shit ton more A&R scouts? So they put in money in advertising? Are they putting money? If you can see where companies are putting money, you can kind of get a step ahead on what sounds you could be focused on. Let's say a company's putting a shit ton of money behind advertising. Look up what kind of adverts they're buying or what kind of adverts are going out and what the most popular sounds are. And then that will influence you to create some beats and put them on sync websites and make some money in that way. If you're seeing a shit ton of money being spent on A&R, wow, they're looking for like a hot new sound that we haven't heard before. So maybe start generating some different types of sound that are based in a world that is like, if garage is popular, maybe we do some 130 stuff, but we use some unique instruments, some worldly instruments. It's an interesting time at the Will Hatton. Safe. You answered decently. Decently. I kind of get an idea of what I could do. Yeah, man, it's all love. Just got to experiment, man. There's no... It's fun to play this game. EV47, I missed you there, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Merry Christmas. It's fun to have this conversation, but ultimately no one's going to be right. You know, it's one of those things where it's fun to like throw the dart at the dartboard and be like, I think Mystic Meg, like I think it's going to be this popular for the next 6 months or for the next year. People are going to be working on this, but ultimately no one knows. It could go in any old direction. What did I have here? I had I was just doing something silly because I'd see people like, didn't someone do Midwest emo friends? I doubt anybody took it from TikTok and put it on YouTube, but let's see if this is something. Yeah, this one kind of sucks. TikTok Midwest emo friends. I think this stuff's so creative and it's so like emotional. I don't want to click the wrong one and like have something that's like super heartbreaking. I don't want to have something too triggering for people. Let's see what this one is. I love this stuff. Yeah, we love it. We love it. Have I even got sound for this? Did I share my my output? I didn't. So you guys let me listen to Oliver Tree and you guys couldn't even hear anything? You guys are so polite. You're just watching me bob along to Oliver Tree on silent. Yeah, this stuff's so creative.
I knew these were not the kind of people our daughter
I
should
like
be
sampling.
associating with. Mindy, we're going.
Hey, Damien, so good to see you, man. I'll text you in a little bit. Have a great holiday season. Love to the family.
I told you how important this was to me. I told you that this was my last chance to impress Mindy's parents. I spent like 2 days working on this dinner, and I spent like $300 on a dumb harpist who at this point should stop playing. And I don't even care what you think of Mindy, all right?
See, this needs a little bit more
more.
more finger tapping. What can we get that's like I might do it right now. What's a monologue that has no, not youtube.com again. YouTube downloader that doesn't have any music in it. Let's see if we can get... Do you remember this? It was like these two girls arguing. She was like, it was a joke. I didn't actually mean sleep with my dad. Maybe we don't use that. Maybe we'll do the same. You spent $100 on ice. Drake and Josh, let's do the same thing. Let's try and improve upon this a little bit.
It's a draw!
Mindy, we're...
Oh, there's like music in it. So somebody must have ripped the music out. What we got? Liam Neeson, Taken. Job done. That's going to have music in it. Liam Neeson, Taken, monologue. Let's see.
Looking for ransom. I hired her for a very long career. Not look for you. I will not pursue you.
See, it's too slow. You got to have an argument. That's how Midwest emo works. You got to be like maximum politeness achieved. you got to have like two people having an argument. Let's go. What was that movie where they were fucking breaking up? And he was like, I wish you were dead every day. Was it that?
You know, call him an asshole. I get it. I do it too. Abilities, but people absolutely don't accept.
Gotta be this, right?
Let's
Say it.
when did we say
Easy. we're gonna drench this in a little bit of reverb, Valhalla, of course, and then add that to like a Midwest emo thing. File. There we go. This is so dumb. This is how we're gonna end our stream today. Get those questions in. It's always fun to hang out. I need to, every time I come on stream, I'm like, I need to do more live streams. I just wanted to see everybody before I went away. Is there anybody doing anything crazy? I got to drive to my mum's tomorrow. It's gonna be like a 7-8 hour drive in the just everybody else is going away for Christmas. Oh, it's gonna suck.
My work is here now. My family's here.
And I agreed to put Henry in school here because your show went to series. I did that knowing that when you were done shooting, he would come back to New York.
Honey, we never said that. That may have been your assumption, but we never expressly said that.
We did say it.
When did we say it?
I don't know when we said it, but we said it.
So what you want to do, right, is you want to start something like this. And you want to start it with maybe something like this, some finger tapping stuff. I'm obviously just using I don't know what's going on with my CPU. This is crazy. Let's open up the pit a little bit. I'm obviously using the Ample Sound semi-hollow. I love using this thing. Dark One's excited. So yeah, so I'm just doing this little. It was so hard to play, buddy. So I put the Ample Sound guitar on, but I also put the fret. I also put the capo on fret 3 there. So playing stuff on the MIDI piano. And trying to figure out where it was bad. So that could be a good place to start, or you want to start with the actual guitar sample itself. That's probably a good place to start, right? So we turn this up, and we bring this in.
My work is here now. My family's here.
And I agreed to put Henry in school here because your show went to series. I did that knowing that when you were done shooting, he would come back to New York.
Honey, we never said that. That may have been your assumption, but we never expressly said that.
We did say it.
When did we say it?
I don't know when we said it, but we said it. We said it at the time on the phone.
Honey, let me finish.
Okay, so we start bringing this.
I thought that if Henry was happy here and my show continued, that we might do LA for a while.
I would bring the other
privy to
elements.
that thought process.
The only reason we didn't live here is because you can't imagine desires other than your own, unless
Bring
they're
some
forced
other
on you.
elements.
Okay, you wish you hadn't married me. You wished you had a different life. But this is what happened.
Oh,
So
what
what do you
transition.
do?
I don't know.
Okay.
Nora says there's no coming
Whatever
back.
this is,
Fuck
I'm gonna take it
Nora.
out.
Fucking Nora telling me I always lived in LA, even though I never lived
Stop
in
fading it
LA.
out.
How could you have to say those things about me?
Jay said them about me too. You shouldn't have fired Bert.
I don't wanna go back to Ohio. I hate this fucking town. Where are my drums? Here we go. We need some drums. There we go. Alright, we'll bring some drums. Here we go.
How could you have to say those things about me?
Jay said them about me
It's
too.
so easy.
You shouldn't have fired Bert.
I don't give a fuck if you're kissing Santa Claus. Fuck myself, fuck you too. I never wanted any of this, but my God, I can't help but love you more. Right, and then get more of the scene.
He tells you because he knows it happened.
So what do we do? These stuff about both of us.
Nora was worse.
Jay called me an alcoholic.
Pulled the rug out from under me and you're putting me through hell.
You put me through hell. And now you're gonna put Henry through these horrible things so you can yet again get what you want.
It's not what I want. I mean, it's what I want.
And then you go.
Was. What's best for him?
Oh, well, I was wondering when you get around to Henry and what he actually wants.
Fuck off.
No, you fuck off. If you listen to your son or anyone, they'd tell you that he'd rather live here.
Stop putting your feelings about me onto Henry.
He tells me he likes it better here.
He tells you because he knows it's what you want to hear.
He tells me you're on the phone all the time. You don't even play with him.
Because I'm going through a divorce in LA and
And that's what makes a producer. I spent a good hour of yesterday just creating this little loop and just making up the dumbest lyrics. Falcon says 1 out of 10. Vocal not nasally enough.
Let's just both agree both of our lawyers said shitty stuff about both of us.
You got it.
Nora was worse.
Jay called me an alcoholic.
Pulled the rug out from under me and you're putting me through hell.
You put me through hell during our marriage.
Oh, is that what that was? Hell?
And now you're gonna put Henry through this horrible thing so you could yet again get what you want.
It's not what I want. I mean, it's what I want, but it's what...
I didn't meet my expectations, but I don't want.
Got it. Alex tipped me and said, amazing performance. Grab yourself a nice coffee. Dude, you're so kind. Thank you so much for the tip. It was absolutely unjustified. I think on that note, what a great way. What I've been meaning to do as well is add your new song to the lo-fi playlist. So let's do that now. It's such a banger. I think this is a great way to end the stream as well. Let's throw it in here. This is such a lovely song. You don't mind if we play it, do you, buddy? Little free promo. I guess not free. Now you tipped. This is such a lovely tune. Really, really good job. Guys, it's been such a lovely stream. This works as a real good intro. It's been such a lovely stream. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas if you are celebrating. If not, don't even sweat it. I will try my hardest to be back with the live streams in the new year. I always love hanging out, and I think it's the anticipation of making a good live stream for you guys rather than just hanging out and having fun. And then when I do get on, I'm like, oh, it's a good time. So I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. You know, reach out anytime. I'll still be on the Discord for the next few days over the weekend. I'll be updating the playlist as always. And yeah, I'll be back next week with our normal Thursday content as per. So yeah, have a beautiful time. Merry Christmas. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll catch you soon, guys. All the best. Play us out, Soiree.